by Raju's father Narayanan. We were able to find Raju in Ajman jail with the help of our coordinator Anasuddin Aziz. Our talks with the jail authorities paved the way for his release. Some of Raju's friends were gracious enough to get him his air ticket, and Raju's return home was a historical victory for Pravasalokam. Raju was given a job by Mr. Abdul Ghaffur from Muscat in his company, and this generous act of Abdul Ghaffur instigated others to sponsor for other victims too.
One of the
first cases that we presented in our initial episodes was the case of Kannaran from Mayapur, Calicut district in Kerala. Our search for him began on the basis of a complaint received from his wife, Devi. This incident was an eye-opener for us because we thought that we had traced Kannaran with the help of Pratibha Arts Club in Bahrain. But we were surprised to find that Kannaran, who landed at the airport, was not the same person we had inquired for, but yet another Kannaran who had been missing for the past 23 years. This unbelievable episode, in fact, paved the way for us to identify hundreds of such Kannarans. Our search for Monachan from Rani in Pathanamthitta district, who had been missing for the past 4 years, began based on the complaint received from his wife and mother. Our representative in Muscat, PM Jaber, was able to trace Monachan. After several days of search, we were able to convey the good news to his mother. We were able to trace him with the help of ISA Kerala wing in Muscat, and we found him in Asiba. A good percentage of the people who go to Gulf in search of livelihood are women, and there is neither safety nor security for their life. A best example of this situation is the tragic story of Rabia.
കുടുംബത്തിന്റെ ക്ഷേമത്തിനു വേണ്ടി മണലാരണ്യങ്ങളിൽ സമ്പത്ത് തേടി പോയവരുടെ പട്ടികയിലെ രക്തസാക്ഷിയാണ് ഈ വാഹനത്തിലുള്ളത്.
She can be considered as a martyr who had sacrificed her life on the sandy deserts of Arabia to earn a living for her family. Wife of Kabir, Rabia had committed suicide 15 days back by pouring kerosene over her in the house where she had been working.
സാമ്പത്തിക പരാധീനതയിൽ നിന്നാണ് പോയതെങ്കിലും ഇപ്പം വലിയ കുഴപ്പമില്ലാത്ത ഒരു ചുറ്റുപാടിലാണ്.
കബീറിനെയും 14 വയസ്സുകാരി മകളെയും തേടി
There will no longer be any drafts coming from overseas for Kabir and his 14-year-old girl. This is the plight of many women who go to Gulf as housemaids to earn a living. We only wish people who rush to Gulf with great hope remember this story. All our episodes that we present on Thursday nights have different tales to tell. Kunju Mohammed, who was our guest in one of the episodes, had a different and pathetic story to tell. He had gone to sell one of his kidneys in order to settle his debts when he accidentally happened to bump into one of our journalist's friend. A good football player, Kunju Muhammad, had to spend years in Saudi jail, and during this period, he had to develop some diseases and became a handicapped person. Seeing this pitiable condition of this man, the managing director of MK Group, Mr. Yusuf Ali, came forward to give him a job, and now Kunju Muhammad is happily working in Lulu Center in Abu Dhabi.
MK ഗ്രൂപ്പ് മാനേജിംഗ് ഡയറക്ടർ MA യൂസഫ് അലി സാറ് എനിക്ക് എൻ്റെ ജീവിതം തന്നെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ വിലപ്പെട്ടതാക്കി തന്നത്. കാരണം ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ഉള്ള ഒരാൾക്ക് ആരാണ് ജോലി കൊടുക്കുക? എൻ്റെ നടത്തം കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഒരു മനുഷ്യൻ ജോലി തരും, എനിക്ക് തരില്ല.
Our search for Mustafa, who had gone to Muscat 5.5 years back, began when we received a complaint from his wife Fatima. The untiring efforts of our representatives in Muscat and an amount of rupees 20,000 offered by a generous businessman, Mr. Gulfar Muhammad Ali, enabled us to bring back Mustafa. We come across instances where some people who come to Gulf for employment fall a prey into the trap set by sex rackets. A secret agency which works in Sharjah informed us of some of the problems encountered by a few people who had fallen into this trap.
മലയാളി പെൺകുട്ടികൾ എങ്ങനെയാണ് എത്തപ്പെടുന്നത്? അധികം പേരും വിസിറ്റിംഗ് വിസയിലാണ് ഇവിടെ എത്തിപ്പെടുന്നത്. പാവപ്പെട്ട വീട്ടിലെ കുടുംബങ്ങളിലുള്ള നല്ല നല്ല കുട്ടികളെ, സൗന്ദര്യമുള്ള കുട്ടികളെ തെരഞ്ഞു പിടിച്ചാണ് ഇതിൻ്റെ പിന്നിൽ പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്ന ഈ മാഫിയ റാക്കറ്റ്സ് അവരെ പോയി ഗൾഫിൽ നല്ല നല്ല ജോലികൾ വാഗ്ദാനം ചെയ്ത് പറഞ്ഞ് പ്രലോഭിപ്പിച്ച് പെട്ടെന്ന് തന്നെ പാസ്പോർട്ട് എടുക്കുകയും അതുപോലെ തന്നെ വളരെ തന്ത്രപരമായ രീതിയിൽ അവർക്ക് വിസ ശരിയാക്കിയതിന് ശേഷം കുട്ടികളെ ഒന്ന് വിസ കാണിക്കാനോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവരുമായിട്ട് അവർക്ക് മറ്റൊരാളെ ഒന്ന് കണ്ട് വിസയെക്കുറിച്ച് കൂടുതൽ ഒന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കുവാനോ ഉള്ള അവസരം കൊടുക്കാതെ കൂടുതൽ പൈസയൊന്നും മേടിക്കാതെയൊക്കെയാണ് അവർ പെൺകുട്ടികളെ അവിടുന്ന് ഇവിടെ എത്തി.
Amini Matthew's long cherished wish to see her husband after a period of 23 years materialized with the help of our representatives. She had lost all hope of seeing him in this life. Pattalam Mattai's return is definitely a golden feather to the cap of Pravasalokam. It is indeed unbelievable that a person who has been missing for 23 years would come back. Yes, sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. Henceforth, Ammini will not have any occasion to call us, but surely there are many more Amminis who need our help. Of the many people who come overseas in search of jobs, some unfortunate ones land up in dangerous situations, as the case of a lady who came here for the job of a tailor, but finally landed up in a brothel. The story of Ashok Kumar from Haripad, Kerala, who was also sent to the prison, is yet another example of the trap set by agents into which many innocent people fall. Ashok Kumar, who had spoken to his father the previous week, was in Saudi jail the very next week when the news of his father's death came to him. He could not go for the funeral, and people here in his home naturally thought he had intentionally avoided coming here. Rajamma, who had gone to Gulf to support her ailing husband and grown-up daughter, was in fact cheated by her agent. We had to pay the fine that we needed for her release and brought her back home. With the help of our representative PM Jaber in Muscat, we could find her air ticket too.
എംബസിലുള്ളവർക്കാണെങ്കിലും എന്നെ എല്ലാവരും എന്നെ അമ്മയെന്നാണ് വിളിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സത്യമായി പ്രായം കൂടുതലുള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് ഒരു ചെറിയ സ്നേഹത്തോടും എന്നോട് കരുണയോടും പെരുമാറിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ആദ്യത്തെ ഇത് കഴിഞ്ഞതിന് ശേഷം ചവർസാർ ഇടപെട്ടതിന് ശേഷം എന്നോട് എല്ലാവരും നല്ല സ്നേഹത്തോടെ പെരുമാറിയിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഇനി ഇത്രയും നാൾ താമസിച്ച് പോയെന്നുള്ള പാസ്പോർട്ട് ഇല്ലായിരുന്നു. അതിൻ്റെ എല്ലാം പേരിലും പിന്നെ 10,000 ഫൈൻ അടക്കണം, ഇത് ലേബർ കാർഡില്ല, പിന്നെ വിസയുടെ ഫൈൻ അടക്കണം. അതെല്ലാം അറിഞ്ഞെന്ന ഒരു 10-100 റിയാലങ്ങളുടെ പിരിവിട്ടുണ്ട്. ബാക്കി പൈസ മൊത്തം സാറിൻ്റെ ശമ്പള പൈസ തന്നെയാണ്. അത് എങ്ങനെയാണ് എനിക്ക് ആ നന്ദി പറയേണ്ടതെന്ന് എനിക്കറിയില്ല.
Our hunt for Gobi Ajari, who had left 3.5 years back, was based on the complaint received from his wife Ponnamma. We were able to trace him, and we got more details of some of the major issues by most of the Malayalis who land up here for employment. He promised that he would go home once his papers are ready. There are cases where women who go as housemates are cheated. 3 months back, this woman had gone to Gulf as a housemaid for an Omanian family. But instead of an Omanian sponsor, an Indian housewife turned up to take her. She too faced a lot of suffering and torture at the hands of this housewife, and finally, with the help of our representatives, she got back home.
ഒമാനികളെ പിന്നെയും വിശ്വസിക്കാം. ഭാഷ മനസ്സിലായില്ലെങ്കിൽ അവർ ആദ്യമേ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒന്ന് ചെയ്യുക, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ചെറുതായിട്ട് വഴക്കുറയോ ഒരു അടി എന്തെങ്കിലും ചെയ്തു. അത് ഭാഷ മനസ്സിലാവാത്തതിൻ്റെ പേരിലാണ്. പക്ഷെ മലയാളികൾ അതല്ല, എല്ലാവരും അങ്ങനെ.
2001 റംസാൻ കാലത്താണ് Mohammed had met with a major accident when an Omanian car hit him and he was in a very critical condition. We were able to bring back Mohammed with the help of ISA Kerala wing. Our friend Siddiq had informed us about the pathetic condition of Mohammed, who was completely disabled and handicapped. Our representative PM Jaber shifted Mohammed from Kavala to Suvaik. We needed 4 people to be sponsored to bring Mohammed back home, but the sponsors failed to come. Although Mohammed had been let down by an Indian doctor who refused to treat him for want of more money, there were other magnanimous and generous people who were ready to take up the responsibility to bring Mohammed back home. This was indeed a rebirth for Mohammed. It is our responsibility to make him live for the sake of his wife and 4 children. We hope that we will be able to see Mohammed on his feet again. We are presenting this story to all our viewers. Definitely, there will be many good-hearted Malayalis who will come forward to help Mohammed. We were able to bring back 2 housemates who had been sent to Ras Al Khaimah jail for no fault of theirs.
പോവാതിരിക്കുന്ന നല്ലത്. ഇവിടെ തന്നെ എങ്ങനെയെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ കഴിച്ചു കൂട്ടി പോവുക, അത്രയും നല്ലത്. അവിടെ പോയി കിടന്നാൽ കഷ്ടപ്പെട്ട് 24 മണിക്കൂറും ജോലി എടുത്താലും കാശുമില്ല, ഒന്നുമില്ല. അതാണ് നല്ലത്. ഇവിടെ തന്നെ നിൽക്കുന്നത് നല്ലത്. ഇവിടെ ഉള്ള കൂലിപ്പണി എടുത്താലും അതാ ജീവിച്ച് പോവുക. അവിടെ പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ 400 രൂപ കിട്ടുന്ന ഒന്നിനും തന്നെ ഇല്ല, നമ്മുടെ ഡ്രസ്സിന് തന്നെ ഇല്ല.
It is indeed a sad plight. She was able to come back because of a person who does not want to reveal his identity, who had sponsored her ticket and given her ₹5,000.
വിഷമമുള്ളത് കാരണം ആരും സഹായിക്കാനില്ലാതെ ഇങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ വരുമ്പോൾ വിഷമമുണ്ട്.
Circumstances encountered by any individual and long separation from the family sometimes create estrangements in life. Our search for Gopalan was based on the complaint given by his wife Kamala. ISA Kerala wing helped us to trace him in Muscat in Bizia village in Behala district. Kamala had informed us to call her only after 7 o'clock at neighbor's residence, as she would return from work only after her work. Her 4 sons were of no use to her, and so she had to go for work to meet both ends meet. She stopped the education of her children owing to financial constraints. The labor officers at Bizia were not able to understand the language of poverty of this suffering family, and we could only make Gopalan speak to his family and assure them that he would come back